Welcome back to yet another episode of this here Vlogmas. As always, it's your favorite cine here, Cinematographer. Please, if you're new, don't forget to like and comment and subscribe, most importantly. And if you're returning again, I'll only settle for a like or a comment or both if you're feeling a little some. We're almost at 500. I think we're in like 480, 481, somewhere there. I don't know. But yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. You guys are doing a great job. Great job. Now, the point of this video, right? Today we're going to talk about gym, right? Because I think I've had quite a few conversations around it lately, mainly with people that I haven't linked up with in like a while, right? But I think with it being a really big part of my life and a big part of my routine and the way that I just do things and conduct myself, I figured it'd be really important or cool for me to kind of share this on here, right? So, talking about gym, right? So, I'm gonna be for real. I think when I first started working out, right, um, it was never about like the summer body and getting big and you know what I mean, all of that stuff. Funny enough, I think when that was the goal, I was never consistent with the gym. I think I tried at some point in high school for a little bit, but that was mainly for basketball. And then I tried again later on when I got to first year, I think, or second year, somewhere around there. Did it for like 2, 3 weeks, and then I fell off, right? So then I kind of just gave up on the whole gym chat, like altogether, right? Then fast forward to I think my third year in uni, just around graduation, that's when I kind of started working out again. But the motivation for it and the purpose of it was now different, and we'll kind of get into a little bit of what that difference was, right? So I think at first, like I said, when I was doing it for the summer body and the you know what I mean, absolutely fell off, right? And I think that was always an indicator for me, at least looking back now, is I think it was more a thing of if the reason isn't strong enough and I don't know, I guess the level of discipline isn't there, yeah, no, gym isn't gonna work, at least for me that is, and I suppose a vast majority of people. And I suppose I bring this up given, January's coming up and we're all going to be there. Hey, new year, new me, new body, woo, all of that stuff, right? Um, but essentially what happened was so as you guys probably know by now, right? I'm a freelancer, right? And obviously, there's a lot of goals that you try to hit, a whole bunch of milestones that you kind of try to get to within a certain particular amount of time. And at the same time, there's a lot of things that are also in the balance as well. For example, gigs, they can be super, super, super up and they can be super, super, super down, right? And mentally, that was always a very tricky thing to navigate in my younger years, as I am still young, but in my younger years, that was something very tricky to navigate, right? And honestly speaking, I have some really, really, really big goals that I kind of have set out for myself, for my career, for my 20s, and everything else following after that, right? So I remember with one of the goals that I have currently and still working towards, it's a very long term goal, you know what I mean? Like a very, very, very long term goal. So I remember there was a time, I think I was journaling, right? And I was really getting into journaling at the time and really just trying to understand some of my habits and really trying to be more intentional and deliberate in my level of consistency and self discipline and just overall commitment to certain things, right? Um, and I remember as I was writing this stuff down, I remember thinking, damn, like this is going to be a long term journey, right? And with it being a long term journey, it's going to be very hard for me to see the progress or at least to recognize it, right? Within the day to day. Because ultimately, what I will be experiencing is the day to day and not the whole thing. You know what I mean? So I remember I was thinking about this and I was like, what would be a way for me to be able to one track progress of this journey that I'm in, or at least what can be a system or habit that I can assimilate that can help me believe in those micro steps adding up over time, right? And I don't know how I even got to this, but I remember thinking, wait, I think if I'm looking for something that's going to be a tangible representation of that, I think gym is probably the best way to go about it, right? Because similarly with gym, and I was quite skinny at the time, I was like, the thing about building muscle is you're not gonna see those increments. Like, you're just gonna wake up one day and you've gained plus 10 kgs, for example, assuming you're strength training or hypertrophy training and all that stuff, right? And when you get there, that's when you see it. But in the first week, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16, 20 weeks, you're not gonna see the changes in comparison to the week before or the month before, or you know what I mean? Like, you're only really gonna see some changes like within like 6 months to 1 year periods, you know what I mean? And even then there's still a few things that you kind of have to adjust and tweak and learn along that journey as well, you know? So that's how I landed on gym. I was like, okay, if I'm trying to make a sort of physical or tangible metaphor for this journey that I'm on, I think the gym is the best way to do it because it's the exact same thing except it's physical. So at least with the little changes that I'll be able to see with myself, it's very likely that similarly the same thing is happening in my life, in my career, in the things that I'm doing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how gym came along. And for a little context, right, when I first started gym about 3 years ago, technically going into my fourth year now, um I think I weighed 56 kgs, and now I weigh 73, 74 kg plus minus. I am on a lean bulk right now, so maybe when I cut it'll be slightly lower, but essentially I was able to gain just about like 20 kgs in the 3 years, you know what I mean? And that took going to the gym 6 days a week for 3 years straight, technically now going into four, but yeah, to 3 years straight going to the gym 6 days a week. And obviously there's things like diet and supplements and all of that crazy good stuff that you kind of start to get into as you go on. But I always look back at that journey from when I started and where I am now, and I'm like, whoa, dude, this thing really works, hey? Because that whole thing of just waking up every single day, every single morning to go lift heavy things, put it back down, you're gonna be sore the first week, the first month, all of that good stuff. Sometimes you hit a plateau period, and then at some point you're making crazy, crazy, crazy gains. Like, I always think about that, and I'm like, damn, it's so crazy how that is a part of just you showing up at the gym every single day. And it was really cool because I think in a similar way I kind of saw that same thing play out in my own career as well, because in the same way that there'll be quiet times and like really awesome times and quiet times and really quiet times, and that whole thing, right? But ultimately seeing it work out in the end, I think for me just goes to show that consistency, discipline, and showing up every single day to the thing that you said you're going to commit to is a cumulative thing. It's not going to be a quantum leap, but it is most certainly a cumulative thing. And if you just if you just let it play out, if you just let it do its thing, you will see the most amazing, amazing, amazing results. So yeah, that's what gym was for me in the beginning. Like, the body thing came much, much later because obviously you need to have like a goal now that you're showing up every day. But for the most part, I'm gonna be for real. Like, gym was just a thing that I used so that I can measure whether or not I can show up every day. That was literally it. I was just going to the gym just so that there's a conscious decision that I'm making every single day for 6 days a week that I'm going to show up for throughout that whole time. And then the reason why I attached a body goal to it along that journey was so that the effort that I put in isn't mediocre. So it might not necessarily have been summer body per se, but for example, one of my biggest goals was my ratios, where I'm like, okay, I want to be able to deadlift X amount, I want to be able to squat X amount or these many kgs, so that at least now that I've gotten a hang of the showing up part, now it's the okay, if I can just make this much progress. Okay, today I'm squatting 70 kgs. Okay, cool. Let's keep doing this. Let's keep doing this. Let's work on our diet. Let's make sure that we rest. Let's make sure that we're taking good care of ourselves. And then the next month or 2 months later, I'll hit 80. After 80, we'll get to 90. After 90, we'll get to 100. And finally, now my max squat being 140. So it's, or rather, that's what gym was. And to see those two things kind of come together in a crazy way, where career wise the same dope stuff is happening, because I was literally just shooting videos as much as I possibly could until at some point it made sense for some people to pay me. The similar thing happened in gym, where I literally showed up as a bone skinny dude, and now I mean, I mean, but yeah, I thought that would be an interesting thing to share. But guys, if you're enjoying this here Vlogmas series, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, it's your favorite cine here, Matigo Riba. Catch you next time.